Hey, garden friends! Welcome back to StrongEcho's May Garden Tour, where the plants are growing, the birds are singing, and I'm just trying not to trip over the hose. Again. Whether you're growing on a farm or a fire escape, we've got inspiration, laughs, and dirt under our nails. Let's walk through what's poppin' in the garden this month. Plus, I'll drop some juicy May gardening tips to help your patch thrive. Let's do this. Today, I'm not just giving you a peek at what's growing in our May garden. I'm dropping 10 essential May gardening tips to help you avoid rookie mistakes, fight off pests, and grow enough food to make your grocery store jealous. Grab your coffee, your trowel, and maybe a sun hat that makes you look like a gardening wizard. Let's walk and talk. So what's growing in our May garden? A little bit of everything, and a whole lot of yum. Right now, we've got broccoli and cauliflower doing their slow-motion flex, carrots and radishes peeking up like curious toddlers, lettuce that's so fresh it thinks it's better than me, strawberries that I'm trying not to eat all on camera, berry bushes getting wild, fruit trees setting loads of baby apples, plums, and figs. And fresh in the ground, we've got tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, and courgettes ready to hit the big leagues. And today's harvest? We're donating it to Stichting Wikes that supports families in need, because good food should grow everywhere, and for everyone. So when we say you can grow it, we mean it's not just about your garden, it's about your community too. If you want to grow abundance like we are, be sure to check out our AI gardening buddy and get any questions answered instantly. Now let's dive into those 10 juicy May gardening tips that'll make your garden the envy of every squirrel in a 3-block radius. Chapter 1. Harvest early crops before they bolt. May is the final act for cool season veggies like lettuce, radishes, spinach, and arugula. They're in a hurry, like they know summer's coming and they've got places to be. Start harvesting now while they're still sweet and tender. Once temps hit 75-80 degree F regularly, those leafy greens will bolt. That means they shoot up flower stalks and turn bitter, like they're mad at you. Pro tips. Harvest in the morning when leaves are most hydrated. Keep succession planting every 2 weeks if you want a steady supply. Shade cloth or a row cover can stretch their season a little longer. Chapter 2. Thin your fruit trees. Yes, really. I know it's hard, but this is the month to thin out your fruit trees. Apples, peaches, plums, pears, whatever fruity madness you've got. If you leave every single fruit, your tree will give you 50 ping pong balls instead of 10 juicy softballs. It also stresses the tree and makes it more susceptible to disease. Pro tips. Thin so fruits are spaced about 4 to 6 inches apart. Focus on removing damaged, small, or crowded fruit. Use scissors or your fingers. Just don't yank too hard. Chapter 3. Harden off your seedlings like a pro. You can't just take your cozy little greenhouse babies and throw them into the wild. That's called plant shock, and it's basically plant trauma. Hardening off means gradually getting seedlings used to real life. Wind, sun, temperature swings, and the judgmental gaze of squirrels. Pro tips. Start with 1 to 2 hours of outdoor time per day, increasing daily for 7 to 10 days. Begin in dappled shade, then move to full sun. Avoid putting them out during storms or strong winds. Chapter 4. Mulch like a boss. Mulch is the Swiss Army knife of gardening. It retains moisture, blocks weeds, regulates soil temp, makes your garden look fancy. Bonus. Lay it down around your veggies, berries, trees. Basically anything not asking to be a weed buffet. Pro tips. Use straw, not hay. Wood chips or composted leaves. Keep mulch 1-2 inches away from stems to prevent rot. 2 to 4 inches deep is the mulch sweet spot. Chapter 5. Feed those hungry fruit bearers. Your fruiting plants, like tomatoes, cucumbers, courgettes, and peppers, are entering beast mode. They're bulking up and need fuel. Time to fertilize, especially if you're seeing pale leaves, slow growth, or fruits the size of Tic Tacs. Pro tips. Use balanced organic fertilizer or a liquid feed like compost tea. For tomatoes, switch to a low-nitrogen fertilizer once they flower. Feed every 2-3 weeks or per product instructions. Chapter 6. Start your pest patrol early. May is when garden pests roll out like it's opening day at a bug buffet. Aphids, slugs, flea beetles, cabbage loopers. They're ready and they're hungry. Pro tips. Check the underside of leaves every few days. Use neem oil or insecticidal soap for soft-bodied pests. Introduce beneficial insects like ladybugs and lacewings. For slugs, beer traps or copper tape work great, or just patrol at night with a flashlight and vengeance. Chapter 7. Plant out warm season crops. Safely. Now's the time to transplant those warm weather stars. Tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, zucchini, but not before your soil is warm enough. They hate cold roots more than I hate surprise frosts. Pro tips. Wait until nighttime temps stay above 50 F. Use a soil thermometer. You're aiming for 60 F plus soil. Add compost to the planting hole and water deeply. Chapter 8. Support your climbers before they flop. Climbing veggies like beans, cucumbers, and indeterminate tomatoes will start growing like they've had an espresso shot. Get those trellises, cages, or stakes up before the plant flops over like a wet noodle. Pro tips. Use sturdy stakes or tomato cages at planting time. For cucumbers and beans, install vertical trellises to save space. Tie stems loosely with twine or soft ties to avoid damage. Chapter 9. Water deep, not often. May can be sneaky. Warm days and drying winds. Your plants don't need constant sips. They need a deep soak. Shallow watering equals shallow roots equals sad plants. Pro tips. Water early in the morning to reduce evaporation. Aim for 1.5 inches of water per week, including rain. Use a soaker hose or drip system for consistent delivery. Chapter 10. Bring in the pollinators. Without bees and their pollinator pals, you'll have a whole lot of flowers and no fruit. Interplant pollinator-friendly flowers to get those bees buzzing and boost your yields. Pro tips. Plant borage, calendula, nasturtiums, alyssum, or cosmos. Herbs like basil, thyme, and dill are dual-purpose, edible and bee-friendly. Avoid spraying anything that might harm beneficial insects. They're doing you a big favor. Bonus chapters. What to plant in May. All right, Garden Squad. Let's talk about the real question every May gardener has. What can I still plant? The good news? A lot. The even better news? I'm about to tell you what and how. So your May plantings don't just survive, they thrive. What to start indoors in May? If your growing season runs long, or if your outdoor soil is still giving don't touch me vibes, there's still time to start these crops indoors. Winter squash and pumpkins. Start in 4 pots with rich seed starting mix. Keep warm, 75 Fahrenheit, and give lots of light. These guys hate being cold. Transplant after 2 to 3 weeks. Don't let them get root bound. Tip: label carefully. Baby squash all look the same, and you don't want to mix up spaghetti squash with jack-o'-lanterns. Melons, cantaloupe, watermelon. Pre-warm the soil indoors with a heat mat. These need strong light and warm nights after transplant. Don't overwater while indoors. They hate soggy roots. Tip: harden off slowly. They're basically garden divas with trust issues. Herbs, basil, parsley, thyme. Basil is perfect for windowsills. Loves heat and hates cold. Use small containers and pinch tips early to encourage branching. Transplant once nights stay consistently over 55 F. Tip: start extra basil. It doubles as pest control and makes your garden smell like a pizza. Succession tomatoes or peppers. For long seasons, start a second round indoors in May for fall harvesting. Use a small fan indoors to strengthen stems. What to direct? Sow outdoors in May. May is the month to start loading your beds with seeds. Your soil is warming up, the danger of frost is mostly gone, hopefully, and the plants are ready to get real. Beans, bush and pole. Direct sow once soil temps are 60 degrees plus. Plant bush beans in rows, pole beans near trellises. Tip: soak seeds overnight before planting for a quicker start. extra. Tip: don't overdo nitrogen. Beans make their own. Corn: sow in blocks, not rows, to improve pollination. Plant 1-1s, deep 4-6 apart, thin to 12 later. Tip: interplant with beans and squash for the Three Sisters method. Bonus: corn is thirsty. Mulch well and keep it watered. Chard, kale, and beets. Still time for leafy greens in most zones. Direct sow every 2 to 3 weeks for continuous harvest. Tip: chard tolerates heat better than spinach, so it's a May MVP. Bonus tip: beet greens equals bonus crop. Don't toss them. Cucumbers: direct sow after soil hits 65 degrees. Plant near a trellis if you want straight, clean fruit. Tip: add compost to the planting hole. Cucumbers love rich soil. Pro move: mulch under cucumbers to avoid bitter fruit and splashes. Potatoes: late May. Still time to plant early or mid-season varieties. Use certified seed potatoes. Don't plant grocery store ones. Tip: hill the plants every couple of weeks to get more tubers. Pro tip: container potatoes are a great option if space is tight. Sunflowers and marigolds: easy direct sow, just plant and water. Tip: plant tall sunflowers along a fence line for structure. What to transplant outdoors in May? This is the month your seedlings have been waiting for. The big move into the real world. No more grow lights, no more pampering, just dirt, sun, and the occasional squirrel. Tomatoes: bury the stem deeply. They'll root along the stem for extra support. Space: 18 to 24s apart, and cage or stake immediately. Tip: add crushed eggshells or bone meal at planting for calcium. Avoid watering leaves. Aim for the base. Peppers. Peppers love heat. Wait until nights are 55 degrees plus. Don't overfeed with nitrogen. It delays fruiting. Tip: mulch heavily and stake early. Even short pepper plants can topple. Eggplant: needs warm nights and rich soil. Tip: use row covers or cloches early on. They're very cold sensitive. Space 18 apart and watch for flea beetles early in the season. Melons: transplant. Water deeply but don't let soil stay wet. Tip: use black plastic mulch to warm soil and boost growth. Leave room. Vines will take over your lawn if you let them. Herbs: basil, dill, parsley. Start with transplants for early harvest. Pinch frequently to prevent flowering. Tip: plant near tomatoes and peppers for pest control and flavor magic. May planting tips by climate zone. Quick reality check. What you can plant in May depends a lot on where you live. Cooler zones, 3 to 6. Finish sowing cool crops. Transplant warm crops after last frost. Protect with row covers or cloches. Warmer zones, 7 to 10 plus. Go full steam on summer crops. Direct sow corn, beans, squash, melons. Start succession planting for continuous harvests. Quick recap. Indoors, start winter squash, pumpkins, basil, second round tomatoes. Outdoors, direct sow, beans, corn, beets, cucumbers, chard, marigolds. Outdoors, transplant. Tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, melons, herbs. Pro tip of the day. If you're unsure what your zone is or what to plant, the easiest fix? Check out our AI-powered gardening app at StrongEcho.com. It'll give you a personalized planting calendar, reminders, and zone-specific suggestions that make you look like a garden genius. And that's your May garden tour, complete with 10 power-packed tips to keep your garden glowing and growing all month long. May is that magical time where everything wants to grow, and also where it all wants to bolt, burn, or be eaten by bugs. Welcome to the jungle. Drop a comment and tell me what's happening in your garden right now. Any surprise wins? Total flops? Let's swap stories. And don't forget, for personalized, real-time tips that fit your exact garden. Check out our AI-powered gardening app at StrongEcho.com. It's like having a gardening bestie who never forgets your frost date or watering schedule. Like this video? Smash that like, hit subscribe, and share it with someone whose tomatoes need a pep talk. And remember, you can grow it. Get the most out of your growing season. Troubleshoot any problem with our AI gardening buddy. Hello, AI buddy. I have 3 m2 space left in a shady spot. What can I grow there? Don't include herbs.
Although many vegetables and fruits prefer full sun, there are several types of plants that can tolerate and even thrive in shady spots. Leafy greens, spinach, Swiss chard, and kale don't need as much sunlight as some other vegetables.
Get as specific as you need. Hello, AI buddy. It's June in the Netherlands. I'm going on a trip for 5 days. What are some garden watering tips to keep my plants healthy?
If you're going away for a few days, here are some tips to help ensure your garden stays hydrated. 1. Deep watering. A few days before you leave, give your garden a deep watering. This means watering your plants more than you usually would.
Describe your unique situation and let our AI gardening buddy solve your problems. Hello, AI buddy. I don't have a lot of mulch. What is the best way to get mulch without spending a lot of money?
Many towns and cities offer free or cheap mulch made from recycled leaves or wood chips. Contact your local waste facility or public works department to see if they offer this service. Always remember to ask about the source of the mulch to avoid introducing disease or pests into your garden.
Our AI doesn't just provide answers. It helps you see the bigger picture, highlighting key factors you need to consider for smarter decisions. Try it for free on app.strongecho.com. We all have limited space to grow our crops. We all have just a couple of months in a growing season. Use our AI gardening buddy to get the most out of your garden. You can grow it.